JJ Clarke. Let's give it a nice hand.
I'm so glad to be here again for the second evening of drummers, and I just have to say, wow, all of your performances, I mean, I was blown away the first time, but I am really blown away this time. You all did such a great job. Give yourselves another round of applause. The last time I was here, some of you might remember, I talked about improvisation. And I demonstrated a structured drum solo within a 12-bar blues with a melody. So just to give everyone an update where I am with that, I've been getting some really good reactions from audiences, and I've been getting good reactions from the people that I work with. And most importantly, I've been feeling really good about my drum solos. In fact, you could say I've been riding a high. I feel like I'm very eager to go on my gigs and solo and improvise. I'm asking for solos and songs that I never would have asked to solo in about 3 years ago. And I'm sure every single person who performed tonight can understand this, and that is, you know, when you work your butt off and you spend hours and days and weeks and months and even years for one performance, you know, and in that moment when everything comes together and you see the result, it's really very exciting. So, and I'm sure some of you experienced that this evening. Right? Anyone? So, having said all that, you know, sometimes in life, good things come to an end. And as the great Frank Sinatra once said in one of his songs, I was riding high in April, shot down in May. Does anyone know that song? Yeah, so we were laughing. So I definitely felt like I got shot down. I was at a concert in the city, and I was playing with a band leader that I've worked with for many years. And and just to give you guys a little background on the venue, it's a pretty intense listening room. And what I mean by that is people definitely come there to listen to music. If they don't like you, they'll probably, you know, worst case, get up and leave. You know, maybe they will clap, or maybe they just will talk in the middle of your solo or something like that. So it can be pretty intimidating. And so here I am at this concert in the city. I'm about 5 songs into the set, and the band leader turns to me, completely throws me for a loop, and he says, "Hey JJ, you know, why don't you solo and bring us into this next tune?" And, you know, meanwhile, I've been working on structured drum solos, right? Drum solos that are in the middle of a song, or maybe at the end of the song, but not really at the beginning of a song. So I was kind of like, sure, no problem. I got that covered, bringing that right up for you. And in my head, I'm freaking out, you know. Yeah. Some of you have been through this?
Oh, yeah.
So my mind is going like 500 miles an hour, and okay, do what you know to do. Grab the melody, right? So I listen for the melody. Nope, nothing, right? Okay, maybe the tempo. Nope, still nothing. Now I'm really panicking, okay? Because I have to take the solo, and everyone in the room, like you all right now, staring at me. Your eyes are pouring into my body right now. And, you know, sweat began to come out of my hands, and it was just very uncomfortable. So I took some lame solo that I don't really want to spend too much time talking about, and basically just felt very embarrassed, and to be fully honest, very discouraged, because here I have been, you know, at that point working on improvisation for 3 years, and, you know, I felt as if in the moment I should have been able to handle something like that. But, come to find out later, I didn't have the information quite yet that I needed. So, went home feeling very discouraged, and although at the same time excited to go to my next drum lesson, because I knew that if I shared this experience with Nick, I would learn something. So he's great like that, helping me out. So I shared the experience with Nick at my next lesson. took him through the whole process, everything that happened, played my fiddle for my sadness and my discouragement. And basically, he asked me a question, which was, well, where were you going? And I honestly, in the moment, was like, I don't know what you mean. Where was I going? I was at the gig. What do you mean? And he clarified by saying, well, what song were you going into? Oh, okay. What song was I going into? Well, I was going into this original song, and he said, well, show me the beat. So I'd like to show you guys the beat right now. And I really would like for you guys to pay attention to the beat because it is what's going to end the solo and begin the song. So let me play the beat. And that's actually where the band comes in. So what I would do is I would count 1, 2, ba 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 ba, and that note ba is where the entire band would be in on the downbeat. So I explained all this to Nick, and then he proceeded to sit down at the drums and show me all these different types of solos and how I could connect those solos to the beat. So what he was actually showing me were called unstructured solos. So I've been studying structured solos, and now I'm learning about unstructured solos, which in improvisation is really the next step. And I learned that an unstructured solo actually does consist of boundaries. It's just that you're creating these boundaries in the moment. So boundaries could be things like tempo, could be things like dynamics, could be things like space or lack of space. It's really endless, and it's a solo that can go in many different directions. So I learned that, and then at the same time I learned that it's important to know where you're going, or what song you're going into, so you can connect the two. So after Nick showed me this, and after I had some time to sit down and work the solo out myself, I was really, really eager to get back to my gigs and try the solo out. Because I'm like, wow, that's not so far. I can actually do that, no big deal. So, and that is really important, being eager to get back to the gigs, because having an experience like that, it's very easy for someone to just quit. And what I've learned is that my desire to learn and my passion and love for both the instrument and for music is the thing that always keeps me coming back. And to me, that failure could have remained a failure. But through my desire to learn and my passion and love for the instrument and my love for music, I turned it into a success. And then in addition to that, I'm now standing in this room, sharing this experience with all of you. And in my mind, how much more of a success could you get than that? Because my experience might help another drummer out there, or any old person in any old experience. So, having said all that, thank you for your listening, and I'd actually like to play the solo that I should have played.